and welcome to another Bodgit and Leggit video. Can you see this lovely thing behind here? This is my tool cart. A few things I need to explain first. This is not the one I really wanted. The one I really wanted just cannot afford. This came up really cheap. It was 50 euros. I couldn't really say no. I'll go through what I've got on it, and in the end I'm going to show you a few things you can do if you've got something for very, very cheap. I am going to modify this. I'm going to put completely different wheels on it. I'm going to do a kind of a lot of modification over it in the next few weeks. I'm just going to show you what you can actually do with some items you might not kind of think initially you could use to make your tool cart bigger, if that makes sense. So are you ready to see what's on this bad boy? I'm going to do this the most way, rip everything off it. Boom! Well, that worked very well, didn't it? We'll just do it normal. There we go. Let's put all the stuff back that I ripped off. That's supposed to be there, like that. Sorted! Let's just give you kind of an overview first of everything. Now, one of the things I am going to do is put huge wheels on this, but that's going to be a later stage. And what I have found with these kind of cheaper carts is they tend to kind of fall over. So on the bottom, I've just got a lot of stuff that I don't particularly use regularly, but it's heavy and it can kind of keep it down, and it keeps it very stable. It's not going to fall over, it's not going to do anything, because when you tend to push these carts to the side like this, if you've got a lot of weight on the top, they tend just to fall over. So that's one thing to bear in mind on the cheaper cart. So what we'll do is we'll go through everything I've got on here, and at the end I will show you some of the things I'm going to do and some of the things you can do to kind of make your cart bigger, because as you can see, mine's kind of overflowing. I've got a lot of stuff on it and it kind of looks messy, but it actually isn't. It's all in its place. Yeah. So we might as well start at the bottom. I'm not going to drag everything out at the bottom because there's just no need. We have the Ford bushing tool remover. I've shown that in my video. And we also have, at the far side, we have the Astra bushing removal tool. These are some, this is a ball joint remover for a Mercedes. What's this one? Oh, this is a ball joint remover for Citroens, because they have, I'll just quickly show you this, if you didn't know. The ball joints have these, you need a cup with these 4 little teeth on it, and it comes in there and you can actually screw it off. A couple of different sizes, depending on which one you've got. Then we have the Hubby Tools. I can't get it out because it's all wedged in, but the Hubby Tools injector puller. We also have the Hubby Tools wheel locking kit remover. And as you can remember, if you saw the video on that, that was the only thing that saved me. That thing was awesome. And then we have the original diametric lock nut wheel remover as well. Right. I think I'll turn this around so I can get to the middle shelf. Right, so we turned it around. We have hanging up here, very handy, we have our nut driver. It's a DeWalt, which I've just dropped on the floor, which was clever of me. Then we have our drill. And again, these clips you can buy separately, or sometimes they come with them. But as you can see, I can hook it over there. It doesn't waste any space there, and it's nice and easy to get to. It saves so much space. That's why I've hooked a lot of things over here, because the space it can save is just phenomenal. Then we have our 3/8 drive. Again, another DeWalt. This is only 10.8 volts, 130 newtons. Nice little tool. Then we have our big beast, a 1/2 inch, which essentially is a DeWalt. And to prove their point, I can take the battery off this, come to my drill. They're all the same, people. They're all the same, just different colour. My hat on, it's getting cold. Then we have our Tool Freaks safety goggles. Absolutely brilliant. Done a video on them. Check them out. For the price, you cannot complain. Unbelievably, the price, and they are fantastic. Then we have our Tool Freaks gloves. Again, so cheap. Then we have just some working gloves. I like the Tiger Grip gloves because they do give you a lot more grip. Tiger Grip, love them. Loads of them in there. Split pins, because again, always use split pins for all sorts of stuff. Handy to have a box. This is then a Sealy 50-piece set, which I actually use. So I use on this, which is really handy. Just put it in, you've got all your Torx, you've got Phillips flat bladed, and you can just screw, you know, panels in and out really quickly with the nut driver. So again, absolutely fantastic to have. Makes things so much quicker. Then we have some eye muffs. These are fantastic as well. Again, I've done a video on these. The eye protection as well as ear protection, all built in one. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Check out the video on them as well. So that's the second shelf. What I'm going to do is just put all this back, and we'll kind of get to the top shelf, which I think that's what everyone's here for. Top shelf is always the best shelf. Oh, if you know what I mean. Shame on you. Shame on you. That one's for Glenn. Glenn will know what I mean. That's, like I said, why I just like hooking things on, because they all wouldn't fit in the middle shelf. But not only that, it's so quick just to grab that off and hook it back on. So simple. Right, we'll get to the stuff that's clipped on the side. As you can see, I've got these hooks. I got these hooks from a pound shop. They're called S hooks, and you can get them in all different sizes. And as you can see, well, you'll see in a second, I've got like Allen keys, I've got other things along here which I'll show you in a second that are just hooked onto these. Again, very cheap. You can get them in all different sizes. You can even get some, which I'll put a picture up here, which you can't really see the size, but they're what's designed to hang pots and pans on them shelves, and they're a lot bigger, and they can hang anything off them. Anything. They're so cheap. You can get them online again for so cheap, and it can just put so much more room, or you can put so much more tools for the price of them. Again, you just can't go wrong. Little things like that people might not think of. Then we've got, this is magnet. Again, this was just a cheap one, but as you can see, it really does stick on there. It holds 3 tins of whatever you want, and it also holds screwdrivers. So I've just got silicone spray, electric contact cleaner, and carb and EGR cleaner. That's what I've got in there. I've got my short, stubby Vacom screwdrivers, and I've got slightly longer Vacom screwdrivers at the end then. I love Vacom screwdrivers. And these are just really nice stubby ones. They're nice, they fit in your hand well, they're just nice. Then we have a torch. This is a Vacom torch. Again, it's handy because you can take it out, you can spin it around. It has a magnet on, as you can see, so you can stick it in places. Rechargeable, handy little torch. Then we've got our Allen keys, just a normal set of Allen keys hanging up, and we've got a few spare hooks. So we get to where the handle is. We have our WD-40 and we have our brake clean, always handy to have. Then we have also our nut drivers. These are handy. So get my nut driver, and as you can see, we've got all different style, all different shapes, 3/8, 1/2 inch and 1/4. That goes into there and essentially turns this into a ratchet almost. And on this one we have wobbly bars. which is really handy for getting in them awkward places. So I've got the full set of them, and again, they're just hanging up with a little magnet. Nice and easy. Sorted. Magnets are the way to go, people. Magnets and hooks. Then we've got just a normal light, again, but that's on a hook. So it's out the way, it's not in the middle, it's not taking up a lot of space, because as you can see, if I was to put that there, it takes up a lot of space. And we have our oil filter ratchet. This one is a spice pick event ratchet. Then we have some bungee cords, which again are handy for tying up brakes and stuff. I've made some, just see down here, I've made some hooks, but I am going to get the bigger hooks for this because I just don't like the way these look. They just don't look nice. Nice shiny hooks, they just look better. I know it's not really that important, but it just looks better. So here we've got wire brush and 24-inch Stilsons. And they just hang off the side because again, you'd be amazed how many times you use them. On this side, we just have 3 more Stilsons. We have an 8-inch pair of Stilsons. This is tiny, but honestly, the amount of stuff this has got me out of is just unreal. Slightly bigger pair then. I think these are 12-inch. And then we've got a 14-inch pair. And again, they're hooked in the side. They're not taking up any room. And it saves a lot of room. Now this side, another magnet to hold screwdrivers. And these are Facom screwdrivers again, but these are just long ones. So no point me going through all of them. Phillips and flat bladed, all different sizes, but the fact that they're extra long can just help get into them type areas. These are handy as well. These are vice grips from Facom. As you can see, we've got loads of adjustment. You can actually hop in one side at a time, and then here's your adjustments in here. Really good, really handy. I've got 2 pairs, different sizes. They're by Facom. See, this one's a slightly different shape. It's not as long, the jaws aren't as long, but again, you know, this one is a 507A, and this one is a 509. Now, we have more magnets. This is a blue point magnet to hold screwdrivers, and this is a laser magnet, and it holds, as you can see, loads of stuff. So this is a generic set of spanners, or set of screwdrivers, sorry, but again, really long, and again, they're just handy in them awkward moments. You'd be amazed just how many times you kind of need them. Again, that's a magnet, and this is a magnet. Now, this laser magnet is unbelievably strong. You can see it's holding all that, no problem. I have drilled holes and put a couple of cable ties on that, just because I kept brushing past it and dropping it, which was really frustrating. The magnets, honestly, they will hold its own, but if you want to, depending, you know, if you keep it close and you keep pushing past it, it is kind of annoying. But we've just got loads and loads of things on here. At the back of it, it has places to hold sockets, and I've got a set of blue point inverted Torx on the top of it. You could say, you can just see there. Now we have all sorts. We have tape measures. We have mirrors, 3 different mirrors. We have different size air blowers, again, because, you know, they're just handy. We have our new pliers, or new cutters. These ones are designed to give an extra kick at the handle, because the way they're designed, you don't have to press them as hard to cut anything. They are hobby tools. These are our brake line holders. These are Sykes Pick Event. Again, they're really handy when you're doing brake lines and stuff. You know, you can hold them. It doesn't damage anything. Really handy. Then we have, again, pliers from Hobby Tools. These are the long nose pliers. They're the same style. So again, they give you that extra bit of leverage. Then we have our Facom fuel remover lines. Special pliers, as you can see there, to push the 2 clips in to remove fuel lines. Then we have, this is another Facom one, which is called the pistol grip, because it kind of looks like a gun, so they call it a pistol grip, long nose pliers, very handy. Then we have some more cutters. These are experts, they're essentially Brit tool. And at the back we have some 5-star security, so they're not 6, they're actually only got 5 ends on the security for taking out all sorts of airbags and all sorts of stuff. Again, that's a full set. They're made by Snap-on, because some of the new modern cars you can't use these because these are six points essentially, so you have to, you know, it's like everything, you keep having to buy new tools. These are really good. These are for taking off clips, like Volkswagen clips and stuff. I can't remember who makes these, but they're really, really handy. And you can, you know, just take off clips. They have channels actually cut into them. You can just see them there, so the clips won't actually slide off. That's handy. Adjustable pliers, again, which is really handy. These are Facom ones, but again, having that adjustability is handy. Then we have the last set in my new pliers. Again, these are from Hobby Tools, and again, they've got the extra kick, so you know you don't have to press as hard. When you press down here, there's a lot more force going to the actual end of it, which is really good. More Facom, these are gear wrench screwdrivers. Full set of gear wrench screwdrivers there. Then we have some more pin nose pliers. These are Beta. An old screwdriver that I can actually hit, and I use for taking off all the screws for the brake drums and stuff, because I can hit it, I'm not worried about it. Always handy to have old screwdrivers. A set of picks from Top Tool. So picks are handy, as you know, for picking things. And that really is it on there. So we can now get inside the actual top shelf. Sorted. Right, hopefully you can see this. Now, where do we kind of start? Well, we have a set of Snap-on Impact 1/2 inch. So they're just 1/2 inch sets. And we have at the back, I can't remember, Trident. These are extra long 3/8 Trident sets. So as you can see, for a 3/8, they're just as long as the 1/2 inch. Really handy. You need that extra bit of space, and sometimes the small socket with the small extension is either too big or too small, and this is where this comes in. Really handy. We have some O2 remover tools. These are laser ones, 2 different sizes depending on what you're doing, or different lengths should I say. Then we have a set of smaller, these are made by Laser as well, and again they are low profile. Low profile, 1/2 inch, and again when you're actually stuck for space, these where the low profiles really come in. Really handy. As you can see, I've got magnet trays on more or less everything apart from this and this. Magnet trays here. I just like the magnet trays. We have a set of Snap-on 1/4 inch sockets, so we have the long reach and the short reach for the 1/4, again very handy. Then we have a set of medium Trident sockets. Again, these are 3/8, but as you can see they're slightly longer. Again, you know, it's amazing when they do come in handy, and they're held in by the magnet Snap-on tray. Then we have, I think these are Rhino, 1/2 inch inverted Torx set. Then we have a set of Snap-on Torx. These are 3/8 and 1/4. Then we have a set of Snap-on Allen keys, which are again, I think these are all 3/8. Yeah, they're all 3/8. Which are really handy. We have a set of 1/4 inverted Torx here. Goes down to an E4. Again, not sure the make on them ones. I think they're just kind of a generic brand. A knife, because you always need a knife. These are handy. These are from Hobby Tools as well. Magnets, you know, when you drop nuts and stuff, really handy. 2 of them. And of course, they're magnets so they can stick in. We have our snap-on 3/8. I am looking for a quarter. I do need a quarter ratchet, electric ratchet. They are good, but I really, really hate the way these batteries are designed. They're so hard to push these connections in and actually get them off. I can't even do it. I mean, it's a stupid, fucking stupid design. Whoever did that needs a bullet. It's stupid. I mean, I'm struggling now. I like it. I just don't like the battery design. Just stupid. Snap on, sort yourselves out. Couple of permanent markers with a black permanent marker, and then we have one of these which will essentially write on anything. Again, they're handy for, well, for marking stuff. Kind of goes without saying. Then we have various ratchets. We have a Facom extendable ratchet. That's a 1/2 inch. We have another Facom extendable ratchet. That's a 3/8. Then we have a 3/8. This is a spikes pickervent again, but it's kind of got the bent arm on it, which is handy. We have a snap-on 1/4 inch. We have another snap-on 1/4 inch. We have a Facom 3/8. There's a longer flexible head Facom 3/8. We have our long snap-on 3/8, which is fantastic. I really do like this. It's amazing. Again, because it's 3/8, it's smaller, but it's longer than a 1/2 inch, so you can really get some good torque on that. 3/8 breaker bar by Signant. This is really handy. It's a mirror with a built-in light. I left the switched on so the batteries are dead, but you've seen it on my other videos, on my new tool videos. Again, it's all completely flexible, but at the end you can twist it, which twists the head. So again, really handy. That's from Hobby Tools. Then we have the long snap-on flex head 1/2 inch. Again, really handy. Then just loads of extension bars. We've got wobbly bars here, 1/2 inch. We've got these style that permanently lock, so when you put something on it, you have to lift it up, or sorry, lift it down, and that actually locks into place so it can't come off, and you have to physically slide that down. Again, they do have their uses. So we have all different types here. We have snap-on, Facom, we have them all really. Wobbly bars and ordinary straight bars. So again, they're just, that's all them. We have a full set of Facom 1/2 inch normal sockets. Again, really good quality as you would expect. I forgot a couple of things, so I quickly redid it. We have a mirror, obviously, you know, for looking around things, looking in awkward places. Mirror is always handy. And we have a lighter. Again, handy to have, you know, it's a lighter, you can burn things and, you know, do all that good stuff with it. And that's kind of it, people. That's it for the actual quick tour. Like I said, I am going to be rebuilding this and doing kind of cool stuff, I think, with this anyway, making it better, I can put more stuff on it without, you know, making it crowded, because you've only got a certain amount of space at the top. It might kind of look messy because I've got stuff stuck all, but it actually isn't. It's all in its own place. It's all where it should be. Now, I know some of these things might seem kind of crazy, but honestly, they work. Now, if you've got a really expensive, you know, fancy Snap-on or Mac or whatever one you happen to have, yes, you don't want to be drilling holes into it, understandably. I can grant you that. That's why magnets come in handy. But for something like this, which was very, very cheap, I can drill holes into it, because at the end of the day, you know, it was very, very cheap. I wouldn't be drilling holes into the very expensive ones. But a few things you can do. We just happen to have an M&M box here. I think there was chocolate or something in it. And all I've done, stuck a magnet on the back. So if you've got loose nuts and bolts or clips or anything that doesn't really stick into a magnet case, but will stick into something with a lid on it, well, again, very simple. You can stick it to your box. And then, with the way this is, the magnet will stay there. I can clip off the box. I can get my nuts and bolts out, shove it back in. I mean, it's fantastic, you know, little things like that. And you can buy this stuff very, very, very cheap. We've already talked about the hooks, and you can imagine if you can get bigger hooks than this, you can just imagine what you can hook onto it. Essentially anything, absolutely anything. You can buy these very, very cheap online. They look nice, they're shiny, they're not kind of homemade, and they're so cheap, you just kind of, you buy them, and it just makes your box look a lot nicer rather than kind of having horrible metal bent around it like I've done. This next one might seem crazy. This is a towel holder. As you can see, it's designed to hold towels in your bathroom. But what you can do, again, if you've got a cheap box like this, you can actually screw this to your box. And what that allows you is, okay, these hooks aren't big enough, but you get the idea. Once this is screwed onto it, you can then put a load of hooks, and you can have more hook space, essentially. More things hanging off it. And again, this was like $1.99, so cheap. Couple of screws, couple of nuts and bolts, whatever you want, a couple more hooks, and you know, just loads of things you can actually hook from this, just loads of stuff. And another thing you might laugh at, barbecue skewers. Now, what you can do with these is, if you have 2 hooks, let me see if I can kind of replicate this. It's going to be difficult, but you're going to get the idea. So we have 2 hooks. Now it won't work on this because it needs to be out, so it needs to be kind of on the towel rack. You have 2 hooks. Let's just get one of these out. So imagine this was brought a lot further out. You can hang that on there, and you can have some tissue, some toilet roll, some hand tissue or whatever, and it can hold on there, and you can roll it out, and there you go. You've got a tissue holder, you've got a tissue rack, whatever the case may be. You can also hang tools from it. You can do loads of stuff from it. And again, it's very, very cheap. You know, there's loads of stuff. You can even put sockets through it and hang sockets on it. If your screwdrivers have got holes that you can hang screwdrivers in. There's just loads and loads of things you can do very, very cheaply, and it can expand your box. And sometimes that's maybe not a good thing. You can expand your box, and you know, you can do it very, very cheaply rather than kind of going out spending, you know, a lot of money on kind of these. The magnets on this cost twice as much as the box did. Now I know it might sound crazy, but where I've got my screwdrivers, my pliers and all that stuff hanging, what you can also do, I've done it in the past and it works really well, is if you go to the gardening section of kind of the euro shops, or the €2 shops, the pound shops, you can buy the heads of rakes, and they've got loads of little fingers in. And in between the fingers, you can put screwdrivers, spanners, well, anything, pliers, you name it, you can put everything in between the fingers. They're very, very cheap. Thank you, Milo, for walking through, much appreciated. They're very, very cheap to buy. You screw them to the box, you stick magnets to them, you stick them to the box, however you want to do it. But again, very, very cheaply. Garden section, get the head rakes. You can get the big ones, you can get the small ones, whichever ones you want. You get them for a couple of euros and stick them to your box, and you can essentially stick loads and loads of stuff to it, people. You know, the best thing to do is, if you walk through one of these shops, just pick stuff off the shelf that you might think work, and believe me, it's amazing what you can actually get to work. I've done it in the past, and I'm going to be doing more stuff to this. But you don't need to spend a lot of money. You know, very, very simple things. And it's very easy how you can actually start making stuff for your box. Again, if you've got the cheap box, if you've got, well, even if you've got an expensive box, you can still use the likes of this, because you're not damaging the box by putting hooks over it and hanging stuff on it. You just don't want to be drilling holes and stuff in it, which is understandable. There's loads and loads of things. I'm going to be doing loads of kind of little modifications to this, and I'll show you once I've done them, just so you can get an idea, and you'd be amazed. Like, if you think of a barbecue skewer and these S hooks, you would never have put them with a toolbox, because you know, you just don't. But again, I think these barbecue skewers were $1.50. The hooks were, this is in euros, the hooks for 5 were 99 cents. You know, very, very cheap, very, very cheap. So that's it, people. That's a quick tour of my new tool cart. You'll be seeing it a lot more in my videos. I am getting bigger wheels for it, 8-inch wheels, just so it just moves around the yard easy, that's all. Not that there's anything wrong with them wheels, but you can get them online very cheap. It will lift the box slightly higher, and it's just easier to move around. So that's it. Look, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you loved these lovely, shiny, sexy tools. And hope it helps. Thumbs up, share, all the usual. Subscribe, don't forget. Links up here, links down below. But most importantly, don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one. Sorted.